Alright, so it has been a while since I uploaded that update video, which, yeah, not exactly my intention, but I guess I might as well make a follow-up video to let everyone know that yes, I am making videos again. No, I don't know if I'll be consistent. No, I don't know when I'm gonna finish Voltz War. But I guess I might as well just go over why after such a long while I decided to come back to making videos. I mean, during all that time I was gone, I did want to make videos. I just didn't have the motivation or the time or the means to make the videos I wanted to. And now I'm not even too sure if I still have the means to make those videos. It seems like any time I try to record anything I want to, an issue pops up. So, you know, that's cool, I guess. It's not at all annoying. Why was I gone for as long as I was? Story short, a lot of shit happened in a very quick succession that kind of got me to want to just kind of give up, you know? I'm sure everyone has that moment, those moments in their life that make them just want to be like, okay, that's enough. And I'm usually not one to be exactly stable at handling events like this. Oh, by the way, this video is going to get into heavy topics, so if you don't want to hear the heavy topics, I'm getting that out of the way first, so skip to this timestamp, although it will help you to get a bit more context on why I've been gone and what's going to be going on now. So it's better to know the context rather than to, you know, you just do what you want. The timestamp's there. What basically happened is a lot of family issues, a lot of just emotional issues. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety around this time. So, I guess if you guys don't know the symptoms for either of those, having one is bad enough, but having both is just kind of like conflicting is the only way I can put it, I guess. Depression essentially makes it so I don't want to do anything and feel like there's no point to doing anything productive, like making videos or doing anything fun, because it just doesn't seem like there's a point to it. That's what it does. That's what it makes you feel like. Whether that's true or not, it doesn't matter. That's what it makes you feel like. And anxiety makes you constantly think that you are being judged and being a burden to everyone around you. So any little action you do will cause people to be annoyed with you, irate with you, and yeah, it just kind of keeps you more timid. So you can imagine the kind of conflictions those two disorders have, and I have both. So there's that. But that's not exactly what this video is about. This video is more about like why I was gone for so long. Well, putting those disorders out there, knowing that I have those, is probably going to help you guys understand why I stopped making videos a bit more. Or why I guess I did make more videos on my second channel, which was more of a personal shitpost channel than anything else. It's just, you know, not exactly something I takes too seriously anymore. But essentially, a lot of personal issues, a lot of family issues that I will not go into either of those because no. But what happened essentially resulted in me not being able to make videos whether I wanted to or not. I would not be able to I wouldn't have access to any ability to make videos, so that kind of canceled Voltz Season 2 right off the bat before I could get into some of the stuff, which hurts. It hurts. It hurts. I want to finish that series, which, you know, I'll get into later. But let's go over why now. Well, simply put, I have the time, and the motivation's not there, but that's mainly because I've been gone so long and I don't know how to get back into it. So I have the time and the ability to make videos now. It's just finding the reason to. Which, the heavy stuff is over now. You can tune back in. You can tune back in. We're getting into the fun stuff. We're getting into the fun stuff. So, let's address the elephant in the room. What videos series am I working on right now? Voltz. I am finishing up that series. I want to finish it up because I guess it's good to go into a little bit of a history backstory about that entire series. If you guys didn't know about that series already, it's basically it's an entry into a genre of videos that are of that name, Voltz War or Minecraft Wars or something like that. And at the time I was making it, there was a very popular, well, not as popular, but it was popular. Okay, it was more popular than mine, but not as popular as previous series by that same person called Minecraft Wars. And that series was very clearly on its last legs. You could tell that the people weren't really wanting to make anymore, and it was going to end prematurely. Which sucks, because I'm a fan of that kind of stuff. I'm a fan of these modded Minecraft Wars, where a bunch of YouTubers go online on a server and have little skirmishes or drama with each other in game that's like all played up for less for like real stakes and more for like the entertainment. Like, the people that are in aren't playing to win, they're playing to have fun in a multiplayer server with a bunch of people they know and go to war with them. It's just something like that. It's just not. Occasionally people will put stories into theirs, which is what I tried to do, and which is what I'm still doing. So then I realized that, hey, I can make one of my own. So I started thinking of, you know, what kind of series I should do for that and what I should make for it. Because I had the idea for the series a while beforehand. I just didn't know what mod pack to do it on. Which then eventually I came up with, well, I just make my own mod pack. And I did. Which you can see in the first trailer. It's not the original Voltz mod pack. It's my own mod pack that I had made at the time. and the original Voltz mod pack, was kind of me settling with the ability that I couldn't make a server for that mod pack. And it was really sad, because that meant that my trailer that me and Donovan had worked on for a while was kind of false advertising. So, alright, cool. That's great. That's what I want. I want to mislead people, because that always ends well. Fortunately, no one really cared, so that's cool. However, I still think that was dumb. But, you know, working on the series itself was great. The first season wasn't really meant to be anything big. It was always kind of meant to be a short start to the bigger series that I was planning on working on, and more of a setup for season 2. And season 2 was always meant to kind of get into more of the series and get into more of the actual Voltz War stuff. Season 1 was more of a start, setting up the main characters, the main antagonists kind of thing, and the world itself. Showing that this is a new continent, that people fighting over its resources, you know, showing how the characters are. It was basic. It was basically me trying, because at the time, at the time I was really into the Metal Gear Solid franchise, which I still am. I had wanted to be like, you know what? Voltz is a pretty good setting for me to do my own Metal Gear Solid type thing. So why don't I make Voltz War into that? So I took a lot of story inspiration from there. And rushed is a way to put it. Rushed is definitely a way I would describe the first season. And having most of the people I worked with there were nice to work with. It was always nice to work with Brandon. I knew him beforehand. He was really cool. Like playing Minecraft with him. Mikey, of course, good friend. You know, he was always there for me at the time. So I wanted to have him on, and he wanted to be on. Of course, he couldn't be on for very long because issues on his end, which not his fault. So, yeah, there's that. And Donovan being the whole focus, like that I was supposed to come to that continent to rescue him. It was, you know, pretty cool. Pretty cool. One small issue was the villain cast that I had to work with. And I knew these people beforehand, going into it. At the time, these were just people that went to high school with me. So, obviously, I'm friends with them. Obviously, I know how to get people I know to work with, so I don't want to get strangers on the internet. But I did end up getting Dylan, who was a stranger, because I don't live in Britain, but he does. So, at the time, he was a stranger, but I wanted to have him on anyway, because I thought that he would be I thought he'd be a good fit for the series. But we'll get into that later. Essentially, the whole thing with Ethosis being the main villain was kind of a reference to a rivalry. I say rivalry, but it wasn't really a rivalry between our channels. It was more of like, he talked shit about my channel in high school, and I threw some shit back, and you know, it's kind of a reference to that. I was like, you know, it'd be really cool if I can get him to be an antagonist in my series after that rivalry. So I went for that. And regret ensued. Regret definitely ensued. So, but we'll get into that later. then there was adding Dominic, who I had also was a channel that I had previous beef with. The Vane Network, which those videos are deleted, mainly because Vane Network at the time wanted me to delete those videos. And it was stupid drama. It was really dumb. Essentially, they were... I don't know on what end who was mad at who. I wasn't mad at them for anything at the beginning, but then they got me mad because they were trying to... Because, alright, a little thing about Dark Brotherhood is it was always a group channel. I wanted it to be a group channel, but I was just the most active person in it. Mikey has access to it, Donovan has access to it. They're all doing their own things now, so they don't really... It's not really a group channel anymore, it's more just my channel. But at the time, it was a group channel. So, with that out of the way, we had a friend at the time, EJ, who wanted to make Minecraft videos with Mikey. And that was good, because I had a realms for them to just make Minecraft stuff on. And this drama started when Vane Network basically Hiroshimaed their entire base while everyone was offline, because in the realms, I gave everyone creative mode. Or not everyone creative, I gave everyone op, because I felt like it wouldn't be fair for everyone to not be op, because if I was op, everyone should be op. That's what I felt at the time. And oh boy, I am never doing that again. I am never doing that again. Essentially, they had okay, so at the time they were Mikey and this person EJ who was also in Vane Network, so this is important. He was in both groups. Vane Network didn't like that he was doing videos with me. I didn't mind that since he was a part of that group. I thought it'd be cool, like kind of putting a bridge gap between our channels, kind of keeping our channels like not averse to each other, because originally Vane Network split. Some of the members that founded that kind of channel, which by the way, that channel isn't active. It was active for a very short period of time, and it wasn't for very long. They had splintered off from Dark Brotherhood to do their own thing. Some of the founding members, they just didn't want to... They didn't like the direction I wanted to take the channel, and I was like, okay, fair enough. You can do your own thing. Because most of the other people in my group wanted or were okay with the direction I wanted to take my channel. They had basically agreed to it. I say agreed like they were forced to sign a contract, but no one... If you didn't want to do it, you could leave at any time. I would have no hard feelings. I always made that perfectly clear. I just like to know. You know, kind of like, it's no big deal. It wasn't really anything important. I just wanted to run this channel as professionally as possible. So, as a response, Vane Network griefed, like I said, they griefed the entire base that Mikey and EJ and a friend of theirs, Sienna, was working on for their Minecraft survival series. And grief is a well, okay, the video of it is deleted, but it looked pretty similar to detonating one of the bombs in Voltz up to it. And this has a link. So I decided to, but you know, that I'm getting way off track. This is about Voltz. So I decided to have one of the founding members of Vang Network, who had left that group because of that drama. He felt like that he was being thrown under the bus because he had participated in said nuking, and the rest of the group kind of went to me, told me to delete those videos, and they would kick him out. I only agreed to delete them because I didn't want any more like issues between us. I thought it was dumb. I didn't want to keep like a negative impact. So then I basically agreed to that, and they booted him out, then re-put him back on, which is fine. I didn't care. I don't care what they do with members. I just didn't like that they interfere with my series. But then Dominic, the person involved, wanted to get in the Voltz war with me. And I was like, okay, I could use another antagonist, and we have beef there, so that would make it even more interesting. Working with those two that have no connection with each other outside of that series, not fun. Not fun. Constantly they would go against what I would tell them their characters would be about. Because this was a scripted part of the series. This was the scripted series. This was founding their characters. So I would tell them what their characters would act like and what kind of people they would be based on the story that was at hand and what their plans were. But I did give him some leeway on how to exactly approach it. So, fine. That's cool, right? No, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have given any leeway, because they took that to mean that they could be, well, Dominic's plan to blow up the moon. That was something. Not exactly, not at all what I said. I never mentioned anything about blowing up the moon. That was all him. He came up with that on his own. So, there was that weird story thing that I had to get in there. And the whole cameo ethosis thing being... You wanted to... It was rushed. It was poorly made, rushed, and we only made that finale because the server was going to shut down pretty soon. Then I had to rushly introduce Dylan, who would have been introduced in a prior episode, but couldn't. So there we go, season 1 wrapped up. Not quite as smoothly, but then we decided to take a break while I work on the next one, on the writing of the next series and the mod pack, because then I had figured out how to make a custom mod pack for our server. And it was hell. It was hell. I believe 4-month long break between Voltz War Season 1 and Season 2 was me making a mod pack, that mod pack breaking, me not being able to fix said mod pack, me getting angry that I was unable to fix said mod pack, my main antagonist, Ethosis, the person that plays Ethosis, quitting Minecraft days before we could like start the series. So there's that. So he quit before then, before I had already like gotten a chance to start recording the first episode, but it's fine. I had already built all the sets. It's not like I can just get rid of them. Oh boy. So I decided to settle with, instead of making my own mod pack, I took a version of Infinix, which was a mod pack that was around prior, and used that with a little bit of adding a few mods and taking out a few there to make that the Voltz War Season 2 mod pack. And Voltz War Season 2 was definitely a lot more fun to record than Season 1. Hands down, it was a lot more mods to play around with. It was a lot more entertaining to have Dylan as an antagonist that season rather than Ethosis and Dominic, because Dylan knows how to play the game. He knows how to play Voltz. I didn't have to build their bases for him, which is good. It means there's a lot less for me to like know about their bases. Ooh, sorry. And recording season 2 was always a treat. Of course, he lives in Britain and I live in America or California, so time zones are an issue. And at the time I was in high school, my junior year of high school, so couldn't exactly stay up quite at the time. Me or Brandon couldn't exactly stay up all night to record with Dylan all the time. But we had the chances every once in a while, and Dylan was a treat to work with for Season 2, because he had helped set up Season 2's mod pack on the server when we were having so many issues, staying up to the equivalent of 3 a.m. for him and beyond, which was very cool of him, and I'm very much appreciative of that. And Season 2, of course, we had another issue looming on the horizon, wrapping up the Ethosis storyline, which I probably should have wrapped up in Season 1, because having him be the antagonist for Season 2 was supposed to be the major finale of the series, uniting both Dylan and Travis one last time to fight up against him. The problem is, the person that played Ethosis, if you remember, quit Minecraft and doesn't play it anymore. Never went back to it. In fact, did this before I even had a chance to change the script. So we had no chance to prepare for that, and everything was all set up. We already knew the story. The Ethosis was who we were going to fight. So then Dylan comes up with the idea with him being the antagonist for that season, us going to war in the first few episodes, which would have been a much better series if we had just stuck with him as the main antagonist of that season. Having a different antagonist for both seasons would make a lot better of a choice in hindsight, but of course, I'm not a god. I had no way of knowing that Season 2 would be cut short. And it was cut short due to issues that were mentioned earlier in the video. And I couldn't even upload some of the lost episodes. I had a few episodes ready to upload. In fact, I even removed a few episodes that were setting up those other episodes, because watching those episodes, the 2 episodes I had uploaded that were set up for the future episodes down the line were just hard for me to witness, considering they would lead nowhere. It just hurt. So I removed those. And that is probably the reason why I have to rewrite Voltz War. Which brings us on to the current season. I did do another season of Voltz on my other channel, but it was completely different. It's separated. It has no real connection. So, let's move on to the one I'm recording currently. It's pretty easy to say that recording Voltz has always had issues. Even before this season. Hold on. Oh. Itchy throat. Even before recording this season, prior attempts to continue the series were made. There was one made that I uploaded on the other channel. There was another attempt made working with 2 other YouTubers, and that saga is a video on itself. I'm definitely saving that for a video on its own.
What, Travi? If you're watching this, can I say this to you? It's something called a bug, dude. Get a grip. It's a bug. Dexter said you can't have any of my breakfast. Like, well, the server was bad anyway, because it was. Like,
these 2 individuals were impossible to do this kind of series with, because they didn't play fair. And I don't mean they were just using unfair strategies or cheap tactics. No, I mean they were duping in the server, knowingly using a bug, despite me saying that if you find a bug that results in duping or anything unfair, I told them to let me know and that I would fix it. I would do something about it. They never let me know. Never let me know. But they acted like they did. One of them made a video responding to me kicking them out of the series, which basically ended with the series being cancelled because they were the only people that decided to show up, unfortunately. So that's great. That really helped. I'll make that a video on itself because it's a treat. It is an absolute treat of an experience. So, besides that attempt, I also attempted to script a final season of Voltz that would be more scripted. Finally, just wrapping everything up. But then I decided that was just too much. That wasn't a good. So then I took a break for a year. And during this time, I didn't want to do Voltz. I thought I could move on to other projects. Then I suddenly had the urge to make Voltz again. And this time, we might be able to do it. I have the server and everything. Just recording episodes has been... Well, recording episodes has been an issue on itself. Essentially recording episodes has always issued one new issue every attempted recording. First episode was perfectly fine, went off without a hitch, no issues there. Except for one little thing. My audio wasn't recorded. It skipped over my audio and recorded Dylan's, or Duncan's now. He wants to be referred to as Duncan's. I should probably change that in the video, but that's fine. That's for future Travis to figure out, not me. It recorded his audio and the game audio, but not my audio. So it's just him talking game audio and me playing. Him responding to me when you can't hear me. So I can't use that footage. Couldn't use that footage. And I won't use that footage. In fact, I deleted that set footage. It's painful. So then I tried recording another episode. That episode, the audio desynced by a minute. And not only did it desync by a minute, it also inconsistently desynced in areas. Some areas will be way more removed than others. Some desynced parts would be more synced than others. And some audio clips were just removed altogether. I have no idea how that happened, and I don't care. It hurt. And then that issue happened again more recently. So Voltz War recording has been mentally challenging. Yeah. We'll go with that. So, what does this mean for the future of the series? I'm finishing it. I'm way too... I'm not gonna go another year with having guilt on my mind for not finishing this series. I'm gonna finish it. One way or another. And Dylan, or Duncan, he's ready to record now. He's ready to record videos with me. So, we have a main antagonist. I'm dropping the Ethos' storyline. I'm sorry, it's wrapped up. Just pretend he died in Season 1. So, that's when it comes to finishing the main series. There is more, though. I have always planned on making prequel comics. At least writing them. Brandon would be the one illustrating said comics. Which is good because he's a better artist than I am. So, I would write the stories and he would illustrate the comics. So, that would be essentially the last two Voltz War medias that would be made. My last season and that prequel comic that would go into all the characters and stuff and go into what happened and what put Travis in this situation to begin with. So, there's that. And now this leads me to my last part. What happens after Voltz War? What series do I work on then? Well, if you've paid attention to this channel's changes over the time I've been inactive, you would notice that I put a section for other Zoo Tycoon 2 machinima makers. I'm going to be making those kinds of machinimas. If you don't know what those are, it's a very niche genre, so I won't blame you if you don't know about those and you're watching these. But if you are watching this and you are one of these YouTubers, I'm a big fan. Thank you for watching. These videos are very interesting because they were a part of my childhood. And I love them. And being able to get back into those, to see that people are working on those types of videos now, and in fact making their own like tiny cinematic universe like those original videos did have. It's a rabbit hole of all kinds of things that I don't have time to go into because this video is already long and I don't want to make it too long. But needless to say, I will be getting into making those. And I guess I'll go into what the kind of setup for this story is. I might even get into it while making Voltz War. We'll just see how things go. But right now, Voltz War is priority over that. Because I'm finishing that series. Whether it kills me. And it might. But essentially, this series that I'd be working on would be about... It's hard for me to explain here, but it's more of a... It's less of an action-based series like Voltz were, and more of a story-based, kind of slower-paced series. It would have action. It would have a lot of twists and turns and stuff like that, but it'd be more focused on the horror. It'd be more of a horror-based series, and working on that and writing that while also doing the Voltz things, kind of another reason why making videos is kind of a difficult task, time consuming, painful even. Other than that, there are other projects I'm working on. I am currently working on a few scripts for videos that are to do more with just more personal topics, like my opinions on games, my eventual kind of my revisiting of Metal Gear Solid 5, me doing game reviews. Cyberpunk's coming out after all, and I am been looking forward to that game despite its controversies that have hoo boy, not getting into those there, not getting into those here. Holy shit. Getting into more of a commentary type thing, not the kind of Leafy or Quentin commentaries that you guys probably know of, or the pyrocynical ones. More of a look into YouTube culture as it is, and seeing what could be done to improve it in areas that need to be improved, especially when it comes to critic channels. Good God. Oh, good God. That's a rabbit hole. That's just a hint, but right now, those are all what I'm working on. Like I said in the last video, be patient. It's gonna take a while. It's not exactly something I'm proud of taking a while. I'm not a fan of keeping you guys waiting, if you guys are interested in these videos, which, you know, those who do stick around and are actually watching this video that watched from the old days, you guys are awesome. Also, just like to say that. But needless to say, that is all. That is where I've been, what I will do, how I will attempt to do it, the issues that is coming from that, and I hope that it goes well. And you guys will probably see what I think is going to be a video after this is finally making Voltz episode 1. I'm thinking of just restarting the server from scratch, as I have run into several issues with it, and these several issues are causing me brain damage. So yeah, we'll go with that. We'll just go with that for now. And yeah, Voltz episode 1 should be the next video after this. Should be. Please don't put me on poorly aged things. I'll cry. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for sticking around to watch this, what seems to be almost 45-minute video. And as always, thank you for watching. Yeah. So yeah.